All right, so today we're diving into something pretty profound. It's a spiritual practice called sadhana. And you could say it's really all about the path to waking up from the dream of who you think you are.
So let me just start by asking you this. Have you ever, in a quiet moment, just felt this little pull, this call to find out who you really are? Beneath all the labels and the roles and the day-to-day noise?
Well, if you follow that call, it leads you to something that mystics have called the pathless path. I know, it sounds like a paradox, right? And that's exactly the point. It's a journey that doesn't really follow our usual rules of A to B progress.
See, this journey isn't about climbing a mountain to gain some new prize. It's actually described as a descent, a sinking into your own being. It's a process where the person looking, the thing they're looking for, and the act of looking itself all just dissolve in this, holy fire of unknowing.
It's really not about adding anything or becoming a better you. It's about a complete 180-degree turn of your attention away from all the things you see and experience and toward the very awareness that is doing the seeing. And this isn't some new idea. It's this universal impulse that's been quietly calling to people forever.
Okay, but here's the big catch. This path is almost guaranteed to be nothing like what our busy, goal-driven minds expect it to be. It's really not what you think.
So first, let's just get a simple definition on the table. Sadhana. It's an ancient Sanskrit word, and it basically means the tool or the method for accomplishing something. In the spiritual context, it is the path. It is the practice itself.
And this is where we so often get it backwards. We're taught that to improve, you have to add stuff. Learn new skills, build a cool new spiritual identity, master techniques. But real sadhana is the complete opposite. It's a process of undoing. It's about shedding all those false layers, about unbecoming everything you're not, so that what you truly are can just naturally flower.
Now, this isn't a casual thing. It takes a certain kind of fire. Just as the sage Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj said, you have to be burning with this one desire to find out what's true. Because without that intensity, all these ideas, all this talk, it's just a game with words.
And this fire, this earnestness, brings us face to face with the main challenge of the whole journey. Let's call it the ego's great trick.
So, picture this. That conditioned sense of me, the ego, it hears this deep call to wake up. And its first reaction? To put itself in charge. It goes, oh, a new project. I'm on it. I will meditate harder. I will achieve enlightenment. But do you see the fundamental problem here? It's like making the town's most wanted criminal the new chief of police. The very thing that creates the sense of being trapped, the ego, can't possibly be the one to set you free. It is the trap. And oh boy, this is where the ego gets really sneaky. Its greatest trick isn't all the constant noise and chatter in your head. Nope, it's the disguises it wears. Think about it like this. The ego sets the house on fire, and then it comes running in dressed as the fireman, pretending to be the hero. It creates the suffering, the feeling of lack, the constant seeking, and then it presents itself as the only one who can solve the problem. It's a brilliant, self-sustaining loop. And just seeing that, seeing the game with total clarity, realizing that the seeker itself is part of the illusion, that is the true beginning of an authentic sadhana. And once you see that trick, it leads to this really radical idea that can flip your whole approach upside down. The things you think are obstacles, they're actually the path.
You know the stuff I'm talking about, right? Whenever you try to do any kind of inner work, this stuff just bubbles up. Fear, doubt, restlessness, wanting this, hating that, feeling tired, worrying. And our first instinct is to see them as problems, as things we need to get rid of to continue our real practice.
But what if we have it all wrong? What if those hindrances aren't interruptions to the path? What if they are the path? What if that resistance, that discomfort, what if that's the very doorway you're meant to walk through?
It's kind of like that classic analogy of the rope and the snake. You walk into a dark room, you see what you think is a snake, and you completely freak out. Your heart races, you panic, but the whole struggle is based on a misperception. The second someone flips on the light and you see it's just a rope, the fear is gone, instantly. Those hindrances are just like that rope. Okay, to really tie all this together, let's use a more modern analogy. Let's think of this entire thing as waking up from a game. So just imagine, how do you wake up from a virtual reality game that's so immersive, so convincing, that you've totally forgotten you're even wearing the headset? A game where you are 100% convinced that you are the character on the screen.
It's almost like a cosmic joke. Let's break it down. Step 1. You believe you're the avatar in the game. Step 2. The avatar starts doing all these spiritual practices to try and become free inside the game. Step 3. There's a sudden moment of clarity where you realize the avatar is just pixels and code. It was never actually real, so it could never be free. And then, Step 4, the punchline, it's you, the one sitting in the chair, who awakens from the identification with the avatar.
See, awakening isn't the character winning the game or finally escaping the level. It's simply the end of your mistaken belief that you were the character in the first place.
And this changes everything. Even the idea of integration. It's not a job for the character to do. True integration is what happens naturally when that false sense of a separate character just dissolves. It's the absence of the character.
Which leaves us with one final massive question to chew on. The game of life, it goes on. The character keeps walking and talking and doing its thing. But if you're not that player, who or what are you?